Hey buddies, it's your girl, AyChristene, your neighborhood-friendly AyChristene, trying to get back up in this thing. What? Did I rhyme? Bars. Fire. Whew. So much energy. Today, we are checking out The Odd One's Out. This is the truth about making cartoons with this cute little doggy. I want to hold him. Oh, he looks like he'd be super sweet, and I could see my daughter just playing with him. Sorry, my mind is starting to trail because I'm like thinking about palm skis and how I really want a palm ski, but they are hella expensive. But today, I kind of feel like this is almost like ASMR because my volume is heavily reduced on the recording side. I don't know if it's turned up for you guys on the finished video side, but I'm rambling. Blame the meds. Link for this video is in the description box below for you to check out. And let's see the truth about making cartoons.
Recently, I read the worst YouTube comment ever, and I can't stop thinking about it. This comment lives in my head completely rent-free. It lives in its own private penthouse. The comment was concerning my upload schedule, and it was, if anime studios can make an episode of anime in 1 week, then these YouTubers can make a video in a month. Initially, I reacted like, you think that's how this works? You think anime studios post an episode and go, great work, team. Well, time to make the next episode this week. Hope none of you have any plans.
That is
I know
not
the
the
working
true
conditions in Japan are
truth at
bad,
all.
but sheesh.
They are.
I guess all the animators are just slacking off between seasons then, huh? And as I thought about it more, I realized, I can't get too mad. This person is just uneducated about the animation industry and
know.
is probably a minor. And then I thought, hey, I know a bit about animation behind the scenes. Maybe I could talk about being an artist and educate people on the animation pipeline.
Sometimes
so that
that's
way,
what you
I
gotta
won't
do.
get any more uneducated comment. For this video, when I
Hopefully,
say
but-
artist, I'm going to be talking about the Google definition of an artist. Noun, a person who produces paintings or drawings as a profession or hobby. You know, the pen and paper artists. I'm not
Okay.
really going to be talking about artists who make music or birthday cakes or take black and white photos of sunsets because I want to talk about cartoons. I make cartoons. Now, it should come
Makes
to no
sense. Talk about what
surprise
you
that
do.
I'm pro-artist. Well, not a pro artist. Are you kidding?
You're
I know my
for
skill level. I still
artists.
can't draw fingers. What I'm saying is I will support anyone who wants to make art. If you're making art as a hobby, then that's a really great creative outlet, and having something physical as an end result is incredibly rewarding. But if you want to turn making art into a full-time job, you might want to sit down and consider a few things.
Right.
Like, are you sure you don't want to go to law school? The biggest challenge all artists face is they have to eat food to survive. And in this capitalist
Not trying
society,
it.
food costs money.
Yes.
So artists are challenged to somehow take being good at making shapes and turn that into money. I know of 4 ways an artist can make a living.
Hold on now. Hold on now. All right. Let's. You know, I may have pneumonia, but those are some good abs. Good abs. Okay.
Of 4 ways an artist can make a living. The first way is to be so good at art that people will pay money to hang it up in their house. The second option is to make
image.
caricature drawings at beaches and tourist traps.
that's
the third
cool.
option is to sell your plasma. And the fourth option, which is the most common option, is to make drawings that people will pay you to make.
That
and do a
is-
little bit of option 3 on the side. Some artists will take commissions, which is basically an artist going, hey, I'll draw whatever you want,
Oh, yeah, and you
asterisk
pay me.
for $100.
Asterisk, 'cause
And people
there's
will
always a
go,
list.
What the Art should be free. I was going to give you so much exposure to my 50 Twitter followers. Or people will go, I want you to draw this cute animal character I made, and while at first your price might seem a bit high to the uneducated, I understand that art is a time-consuming process and you need to eat too. So here's a crisp $100. But another
sweet.
somewhat more stable idea is that artists will get jobs
You've
at
seen Netflix?
studios or work for a YouTuber, and we'll be like, hey, we'll give you money if you draw specifically what we
See those
want.
booty cheeks?
And if we don't like your art, we'll make sure to communicate clearly what we would like changed and work as a
Right.
team to do the best we can.
Right. Hold on
Or you're
really
fucked.
quick. Go.
fired. And that leads us into animation. An important thing to remember for animation
Well,
is
he's
that
always slacking
drawings
off.
equal time plus money. Exactly how much time? Well, to answer that one commenter's question, no, an anime studio does not make an episode of anime in 1 week.
No, they don't.
I think. South Park is what making an episode in a week looks like. And truthfully,
dear.
that's very impressive. I take months trying to figure out what the heck I'm even going to talk about. Making a single episode of a cartoon from scratch takes about 2 years. Don't believe me? Well, let's see what Yakko from the 2020 Animaniacs has to say in the very first episode. At least, we still think there's a President Trump. You see, the writers are writing this in 2018. Now, that doesn't mean it took 26 years to make the first season of the Animaniacs. There's a lot of moving parts that happen when producing an animated TV series. For starters, the whole season of the show gets made at the same time. While the writers are writing episode 12, the storyboard team is boarding episode 3, and the design team is designing the bowling shoes that are going to be worn in episode 6. And it's someone's entire job to make sure that everyone's doing their job.
Right.
This is called the animation pipeline. And there's so many other departments.
I like how it said human sacrifice. Let's hold on. Hold on.
Everyone's doing their job. This is called the animation.
That's human sacrifice. I like that. At the top part. That's hilarious.
Pipeline. And there's so many other departments that I could honestly make a whole other video about this pipeline. If you're interested, I'll do it. But just know that it takes roughly 2 years to make a season of a cartoon show. And that's why when shows reference memes, they're extremely outdated. You know, like a boss.
A lot of the time. Oh, dear. A lot of
It's beautiful, isn't it? This exterior nighttime city skyline background. This background was drawn by one of my background artists, Annie Loomis, and it took 7 hours to make. And it was used specifically for this clip. If it wasn't for the Cats movie, I would have thought Hollywood knew what they were doing too. It lasted for 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
7 hours of work, 4 seconds of content.
Look at them
before
booty
we
cheeks,
continue,
though.
I'm going to make you all sit and appreciate this background for another 4 seconds so I can double the value of this background.
All right. It's a good background.
Backgrounds can be a time-consuming process, and the whole purpose of them is to be in the back of the ground. They're not even the focus. So storyboarders will sketch out a scene to set the staging through layout, posing, and character expression. And during this phase, I'm trying to find places where I can reuse backgrounds or take pieces of other backgrounds and Frankenstein monster them together to make an entirely new background. Like how I used the city background to be outside this window, or how I took the buildings from this background, the bushes from this background, and the bench from this background and made an entirely new background. And hopefully, none of you noticed. Am I being cheap or cutting corners? Absolutely. But
do
that's
what you
the
gotta
point.
do. Save
that
your
gives
money, boo.
another background artist more time to make something else, like this James-themed city skyline. Instead of having to draw 20 different backgrounds of a bedroom, we already have a bedroom. Let's just do something else, please. It's not being lazy. It's getting the most use, the most mileage out of your hard work. I see this next story pop up on Twitter about every month, and it makes me want to stab my eyes out. If you look at this scene from The Jungle Book and this scene from Winnie the Pooh, these two similarly proportioned boys are eerily moving in the exact same way. Wait, was this plagiarized? Did someone from Winnie the Pooh plagiarize The Jungle Book?
Well, they'd have to redraw
Remember what I
the whole
said
thing,
about drawings equal time plus money? Well, back in the old days of animation, before fancy graphics cards and floppy disks, animation frames had to be physically painted onto floppy, transparent sheets called cells. So animated movies were essentially a really long flipbook with over 100,000 hand-drawn painted pages. Back then, drawings equaled even more time and even more money. This whole sequence had to not only be drawn 24 times a second, but it also had to have the correct timing to look like a little boy was jumping on rocks. Just because you drew 24 Mowglis doesn't mean they're gonna look good when you play the frames together. So if you're making a cartoon movie in the 70s and you need a scene where a young boy character is just being a dude and throwing rocks, and you need a really climactic fight scene, are you gonna spend the time and money drawing another boy throwing another rock when someone else already did that 10 years ago? Or are you going to reuse the animation the studio already made and then have more time and budget to make an even epicer fight scene? If these movies were from 2 different studios, then yes, that would be a completely different story. But Disney owns this movement of our boy Mowgli, so they're allowed to use that movement on our boy Chris. Turning your art into a full-time job is very difficult. I'm extremely lucky to not only have this opportunity, but to be able to build an amazing team of talented artists.
I know we're close to the end, and what he's saying is really cool. I do want to say that, I mean, I get it. I get you having to take the time to, like, you know, do what you can to save money and save resources. It's, as someone who has been trying to, because I can't animate and I can barely draw, okay? Let's just be honest. I know people are like, oh no, Christine, you can't. Know your strengths, okay? And I am not a successful artist in the least. And I love telling stories. So I have run through a bunch of people that I've tried to work with to animate my stories and do storytime animations. I do want to say that there was one that some awesome person really helped me do, and I have to still put that together, but had a rough couple months, so we're just gonna give me time. But before finding this person who was able to do it one time, and they might not be able to do it again because they have school and stuff, everybody else, it can be expensive, or I run into people who are like, hey, I'll do it for free, and then they don't really do it. So it's a tough thing. So I get you doing what you need to do to save time, save money. You got to do what you got to do because you want to create, you have to get paid because you have to pay these people. You got to do what you got to do
to create these cartoons and share them with you. And because of you watching these videos and supporting me, I'm able to reinvest money into the team so we can make better quality content and I can support more artists. It's a win-win symbiotic thing we got going on. So if you ever wanted to get into the art industry, good luck, get drawing, and start putting that portfolio together. I hope you all enjoyed this art rant. Considering that this video was all about artists, I of course have to give the biggest shout out to all the people on my team who made this video possible. So thank you, everyone. I also want to clear up a line I said about how I will support anyone who does art. Obviously, if your art is offensive or harassing others, then that's not chill. I just didn't want to derail the video and give that caveat in the middle of a video, so I'm doing it now. And big news, my board game Cafe Chaos is now available in Target just in time for the holidays.
Oh no. Okay, I saw something else. I saw his book in Target. Definitely check out his video and listen to the whole ad and everything. Kind of breaking this down, and how this video started, it struck a chord with me, a familiar chord of people who do not know all the facets of what you do, how you do what you do, or even the genre of how it's done to do the things that they are watching. And they'll make this comment out of left field and compare you to someone else who they also don't know. It's baffling, right? Because it's not like they are an animator or even a content creator, a storytime animating content creator. They're not even in the field. So it's not like they're in the situation and they're like, well, hey, it takes me this amount of time, so you should be able to do it, which also is an incorrect and ignorant statement to make because your life is not their life. You don't know what their day-to-days are. You don't know because he just talked about the animating process and he touched on eating, but eating is a nod to like life and bills and family, and if you have a house and if you have a family, like if you have kids or if you have somebody you have to support or take care of, so there's, whether it's an animal or a person, so there's all these other facets that these people have to do what they do, and you, who is not doing any of that, comes out of left field and was like, if they could do it, then you can't do. And you don't know, and you have that part of the problem, right? And I appreciate him taking the time to go through and explain and kind of break down like, no, it doesn't take a week, first off. And he is true. This person's probably a minor, and sometimes they be the quickest with the thumbs, bruh. But sometimes it's not them. But I like that he took the time to like just break it down and explain everything, explain what he does, explain what his team does. He definitely personalized it, and gave you like general or like global touch points and how it might be for an animation company, how it might be for an anime company, touching base with real world current events with reports that have come out about anime studios in Japan, right? But he also personalized and is like, hey, this is what my team has to do. And sometimes it's what you have to do. You have to explain those things. So I really like that he did that breakdown. And it just reminds me of the work that I have on a desk that I need to finish. You know, like I have to finish getting that video together and hopefully post it. And hopefully if I can find a solid team to get my stuff off the ground, I would love to, because it's another passion. It's another passion that this chick of passions has. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I do want to know, for those of you that want to do this job, have you, like, what do you think about the notes that he gave? Do you feel like this was helpful to you as an artist or as an animator? Or any of that fashion, somebody who wants to break into that business, what does this mean to you? And somebody who's that is not your goal or plan, how did this help give you insight? So let me know all that down below in the comment section. If you like the video, check out the link in the description box below. I love you guys as always, and until next time, buddies. Maybe snapping. I need a new outro, guys, because your girl is hurting. All right, toodles.